Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. Thanks for joining us for Inside Texoma. This morning we have quite a treat for you. We are heading to the town of Seymour. We're talking about STAR, which is Seymour, Texas Auditorium Restoration. And today we're hearing about a project that was once thought to take 30 years to complete, already in the final phases of completion. And joining me now to talk about just that is the City Manager, Economic Development Director, John Studer, and also the Chamber of Commerce for Seymour, the Executive Director, Myra Busby. And we just appreciate both of you taking so much time today, to give us the inside look at the Seymour Auditorium. I know we did a story on this not too long ago, in fact, whenever we were highlighting the town of Seymour and the history. And I remember, Mr. Studer, you telling me it was going to be about 30 years before this project was complete, but great news, it's done.
It's done. It was a little blessing that we had, and it started with good intentions, and everyone knew that it was going to take a while, and then we had a benefactor, and through him we were able to do most of the project within a year's time.
That's amazing. I know a miracle in of itself, and we're of course going to get much more to how that miracle came along a little bit later, but we kind of just want to go back to the beginning right now, and that's the history of this auditorium and the purpose it used to serve for Seymour, and then kind of getting into the restoration and why it was so important to bring that back to existence and back to serving the residents of Seymour, basically. So I understand that this was a project that whenever you stepped into this role, kind of you were behind it, of trying to get that kicked off and the restoration
Well,
going.
it was actually started in around 2002, and I started working for the city in 2004, and it was a project that needed to take off, and anyway, we figured out a few things how to do it, and we, through local support of our local jamboree and a few other sponsors, we were able to raise a small amount of money, and we were able to replace a lot of the windows that were broken at the time. It was quite a few windows, and latches on the windows, and keep the pigeons out, and we were able to put a new roof on it. And we also sealed the walls on the outside, but we did that through little fundraisers, and we got the auditorium in a position where it was ready to have some work done to it. We just didn't no one ever dreamed that it would take place as quick as it did, and therefore we were in action. It didn't take much reaction to when this person presented. This benefactor came forward. We were ready to go.
Absolutely. And it's kind of going back to give you a little history in case you missed it, which you can always find the latest at newschannel6now.com, but there were a lot of projects underway in Seymour, whenever we came out and did the story, a lot of restoration going on, and it's exciting to see the growth and everything that's taking place there, and kind of getting back to the roots and the history of when that town was thriving, even more so. I know that it's thriving now, and I know that's exciting to see. So how much of an impact do you think this is going to have on continuing to grow for generations to come?
Well, the Chamber is really excited about being able to promote this as a destination, as an attraction, and keeping the people there over the weekend. We're able to have a special event or special people, and then be able to show them around and show our community, which then kind of develops into economic development if they decide they want to be a part of the community.
And how exciting is it then from your standpoint to know, there's so many great things to show off, the work that you guys have done to the pool even, I know we mentioned that, and just a lot of neat things kicking off, and this is just one more thing to add to the list.
Well, it's a way that it's an example of things that happen when people are pulling together, and the council is the one that did the pool and everything, and they were behind that, and it's a great project. It's something that not only something that we do to draw other people to town, but it helps the people within the town a great deal to have more confidence and to feel great about the our city, and there's just a lot of things happening. We have a lot of road projects, and we have some new businesses, and it's just a lot of things to take note of, and it's only going to get better if the economy is what's kind of hurting everyone. So anyway, as the economy improves, I see other things improving a lot.
I love, though, the hope and the things that you're seeing, though, even though, we hear that day in and day out, it seems the economy is hurting, but there's so much growth and good things happening in Seymour. I think that's so exciting to see.
One thing that we have people that move in to our community, just like the Hammocks, moved in that have no ties to our community, but they see our outward appearance is appealing to them, and they see a few things happening, and we're just thankful that they've moved in with their new talents, and we've had quite a few people like that move in.
Kind of going back to the history of this auditorium, because again, that's a big focus as well today of our Inside Texoma. The history of what it was, kind of going back to before, whenever it was first built. Can you tell us a little bit about it then?
Well, in 12 more years, it'll be 100 years old.
Wow.
And it was built in 1924, and it was the center of activity for the community, and it had 622 chairs in it, or seats in it, and we had really don't know what the population was, but it was a lot more than what it is now. But it was people got together, and they had all kinds of meetings there, and it was a place that was well used. And over the years, it just through probably in the early 60s, it quit being used because of the high school auditorium that was built there, and it fell into that kind of neglect because it just wasn't needed. But it is such a treasure and a lot of people have realized that it is such a beautiful piece of architecture that allows that was in good shape, and it needed to be restored, and it's one of the few buildings in town that was able to be restored. So it's worked out well for the community.
And it's, because that building is being used, I understand, right below. That's where the city offices and stuff are, correct?
Yes, city offices, and we have a Helen Farabee Center there, and it's used quite a bit. It's very active. It's a lot of traffic comes through that building because of the city of Seymour. But it was like I said, it was built in 1924, and it was amazing, the architect behind it. The scrolling on the outside of the building, the architect, the scrolling on the inside of the auditorium, the arched windows, the arched ceiling, and the acoustics in it was so great. And now we have quite a fewer seats, but we've filled it to capacity several times, so it's in the short time that we've had it renovated, that it looks like we're going to have to add some seats.
That's always that's a good problem to have, huh? That we need more seats.
Yes. And but there's a lot of things that need to be done, and it's something that we'll have some as we have growth. There's more things that we can do to it.
Absolutely. Is it neat seeing this come full circle again, where I understand things are already being booked there, and there's so many plans. I know we're going to hear coming up a little bit later just about the plans that you all have for that auditorium. So is it neat, though, just seeing it come alive again and packed with people again?
The fun part about it is hearing everybody's experience. They said I graduated on that stage, and now they're coming to see venues again, and they're excited. The whole community is excited about, seeing some events come again, that when they were children, they tap danced on that stage, and now they can bring their grandchildren and let them see it. So it's kind of fun to hear the people's experience of what used to be and how they remember it, and the excitement and the pleasure that they had, and now they can, you know, have that again.
Sure, pass that along. It's
Pass
a
it
great
to
way
their
to keep the
grandchildren.
history going as well, because now those stories are being told again for the next generation. So just a great thing. Well, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate it. We need to take a quick break. Much more on Seymour's growth and the auditorium. The new auditorium is definitely coming up after this break on Inside Texoma. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. We just heard a little bit about a man who was so instrumental in really making this completion get off the ground and become what it truly is today. Now, he was not able to join us for today's show, but we definitely wanted to speak and hear from Judge Clyde Whiteside and how he's connected, and of course the history behind his love and passion for the city of Seymour.
I've been asked to come and give an interview which pertains to my connection with Seymour. Well, 1927, on May the 2nd, I came to Seymour. My parents were with me. When I was born, I was real close to my mother. And I grew up in Seymour. We were poor people. I don't mean poor. I mean poor. But we made a living, and we were good people in the community. My dad had a service station. He worked hard. I got my first job when I was 11 years old. I got my high school education. I have a lot of affiliations with the churches there in Seymour. And Seymour is home. When a man gets 80 years old, you start thinking about home. Wouldn't it be wonderful to go back home? That's the way I feel. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could do something good to help the town like it was when you knew it? And Seymour, of course, has changed a lot. The highway's been routed around. Business is not good. The economy is not good. The small families are having a hard time making a living. They need something to get their minds off of their problems. And I got the information that the city was planning to do something good about the auditorium, city auditorium, which is connected with the city building. So I inquired about it, and I didn't know how much it would cost or what they would do. I did find out that they had a committee to look into this. They were good people. They worked hard. They're still working hard. And I could attribute any success we may have had to them. I so appreciate the cooperation of the city council, and especially the mayor. He's been very helpful, and he goes along with whatever is good that we represent. I think the fellow John Studer, the manager of the city of Seymour, has done an exemplary job of getting things together and keeping the communication going. John's a good man. But Seymour has a lot of good people. Seymour is a town that's on the downhill road right now with our economic situation as it is generally. Jobs are not easy to find. However, Seymour has a good management. Baylor County has a good management. And we've got to work together to build this community, this town, this city, back to the way it was years ago. I remember when the town was at least 5,000, and now the population says 2,906. That won't work. That won't work. We've got to get new housing, we have to get new industry, and we've got to get some people who will give up their time to help build and seek businesses and manufacturing that will help this town going. I appreciate the people of Seymour. They've been good to me. I got my education there. I got my health taken care of. The town has been good. I got my first job there I worked for Mr. Kellum in the dry goods store. I went to work at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I worked till 11 o'clock at night. And I got $2.50. I was the richest kid in town. I worked hard. I had people that trusted me, and I trust everybody in Seymour that are worth trusting. The banks are good, the hospitals are good, the doctors are good, and God bless Seymour, Texas.